way you can change how you view the world is to change how you view the world. You're accountable. I think I really started to get this when Dad told me the story about the blinders. Let me paint a picture for you. I worked for Sam. In the book, I call her Sam. And Sam would remind you a lot of Lindsay Lohan. Now, I'm 22. I've recently graduated from K-State. I'm pretty impressionable. And Sam's my boss. She's the branch manager. She's probably 26, 27 years old. And she was hungover every morning. And she could not wait to leave for happy hour every night. The 6 hours that she was there, she was one of the best people I'd ever seen. She was unbelievable. She was bringing in new business all the time. I sat next to Lily. Now, I'll give you the book, I call her Lily. Lily would remind you a lot of that Mom in the 70s show. Lily's entire life was about planning her daughter's wedding, who was about the same age as Sam. So Lily's sitting next to me, and she's planning her daughter's wedding. Many times when she was supposed to be on the phone finding people for positions, she was still calling the caterer or someone else. She was working on that wedding all the time. So when Sam would leave the office, Lily would say, "Can you believe she's hungover again? Or can you believe she's skipping out again early? She's probably going to Blaney. She's probably going here. Can you believe, can you believe, can you believe?" And then when Lily would walk out of the office, Sam would say to me, "Can you believe that she's putting that much money and time and energy into her daughter's wedding? Probably won't even last. Can you believe, can you believe, can you believe? Can you believe?" And it's just like, always, can you believe? And you know what? When I walked out of the office, you know what I bet they were doing? "Can you believe this? Can you believe that?" I don't know what they were saying about me, but we all talked about each other. It's the way we were hardwired in our office. And I remember going, okay, well, this isn't very fun. And I remember I wanted to take a shower at the end of the day. It was like, I just felt like slimy, everybody talking about everybody. So I tell Dad this story, and Dad says to me, "Mary, you need to get out your blinders and put them on. You're getting yourself caught up in things that you shouldn't get yourself caught up in. And workhorses wear blinders for a reason. So they don't let stuff come in that shouldn't, and they don't let stuff go out that shouldn't. And that's exactly what you need to do." Think about it. When workhorses wear blinders, they focus on the destination, where they're headed. And where you're headed is trying to do the best job for your company you can. And talking about other people and getting yourself down and when you're at the office every day, it isn't doing you any good. Get out your blinders and put it on. "Well, Dad, that won't work." "How does that work? How does that work at work?" "That's a farm term." He goes, "Well, it worked with Hank." "What do you mean it worked with Hank?" He said Hank had started at the market, and it wasn't very long after that people were second-guessing me. "How come he got the new set of knives, Johnny? How come he gets off on Saturday, Johnny? How come he gets this? How come he gets paid more? How come?" And I realized every time I said, "Well, how come you're asking that now? You used to be okay working Saturday. It's the busiest day. How come you're asking about your pay rate? You were fine with it a couple of weeks ago. How come?" He said, "Well, Hank said where he used to work, and Hank said where he used to work, and Hank said," and I realized I'm getting second-guessed because of Hank. So I invited Hank to lunch. I took him across the street to the barbecue, and I sat down at the table with him, and I said, "Hank, we need to have a chat. I invited you to lunch for a reason. First, before we talk about anything, I just want to say, I'm so happy you're here, and I want you to be here. You're one of the best with a set of knives I've ever seen, and I really appreciate that you're working for Bicklemeyer Meat Company now. That said," notice I didn't say but, because when you say the word but, you negate everything you just said in front of it. "That said, Hank, we need to have a little chat. Seems to me you got a lot of ideas about how I could run this market better, because you're sure sharing them with everybody but me. A better idea about how he should get paid, a better idea about who should get their days off, a better idea about who gets the knives. You know, all these things that you're sharing with other people. If you think it'll help the market run better, you need to come to me. You get out your blinders, Hank, and you put them on, and if you can't do that, you can't be here anymore." "What do you mean?" Hank said. He said, "Well, I want you to remember that a workhorse wears blinders for a reason. So they focus on the destination, and you need to get out yours and put them on and look across the street. What's the sign say over the door? Bicklemeyer Meat Company. What's the sign say in the window? Johnny's Market. Who's got that name? You do, Johnny. Who are you going to come to from now on when you got an idea, a suggestion? You, Johnny. What about your coworkers? If you have a problem with one of them, who are you going to go to? Them. Hank, we got a deal then." Walked across the street, told everybody in the market, because the last thing you want to do is have, "What happened at their lunch? What happened? Is Hank in trouble? Is Hank going to get fired?" Went across the street, told everybody about the blinders. It made such a difference in our work environment. And when blinders fall off, and they will all the time, You just got to say, sorry, my blinders fell off. Get out your blinders and put them on again. It's one of the best leadership lessons I've ever heard. Get out your blinders and put them on.